Marxism 106. Money, the somewhat measure of value. Money's main function is to serve as a universal measure of value, representing an equal amount of value as the commodity in question. We know that commodities can be equated in value because they have within them embodied labored time. We measure this value in the money form, which does not precisely measure the values of commodities, but ideally measures them. In this way, the prices of commodities are expressed in an imaginary form. Once we have prices instead of pure values, we must have a standard measure of prices. Originally the standard measure of prices took the form of a fixed quantity of gold. This differs from the measure of value in relation to gold, which depends upon the value of gold as an expression of the labor time embodied in the gold, but that is irrelevant to whatever standard you set for price, even if you are using gold, instead of using terms of quantity, such as a pound, which may be useful in speaking of the value of gold. Terms of accounting are used, although in many countries, like the United Kingdom, the old terms of quantity, such as a pound, have been retained. Since the price form does not correspond to the value form precisely, may be set above or below the actual value of the commodity, the price can impose itself nicely as an average of irregularity in the value of the commodity. The price form, thus, can also express qualitative differences. For example, some capitalists wish to increase the price of commodities as insurance against the risk taken on a possibly unpopular product, although such increase in the price adds nothing to the actual value of the commodity, which corresponds to labored time. It is the non-Marxist, bourgeois economists, who, devoid of science, take the prices on the commodities to be the final measure of value, completely ignoring the fact that if there were no labor, the commodity would not even exist, let alone the fact that their so-called law of supply and demand as regulating these prices corresponds precisely to the organic composition of capital as explained in a previous video, that the higher the rate of exploitation, the lower the value and the higher the supply. Why then do the non-Marxist economists shy away from the law of value which all pre-Marxist bourgeois economists like Adam Smith and David Ricardo tried to emphasize so much, albeit not as scientifically as Marx, simply because they are afraid of the humanist implications which Marx's analysis gives us? By removing the actual value from commodities, those viewing the price are alienated from the actual labor which went into its production when they see the commodity bearing that price on the shelf. However, because these ideal values imply the actual values, material circulation takes place.